do collectively that give our lives meaning. And I think that we could all think of examples from history of cultures or aspects of culture that are damaging or oppressive, or I'm thinking about things like apartheid or the rise of Nazism in Germany and that sort of thing. And so I think about the idea of how can culture be improving for people. And I was thinking, what aspects of Sheffield culture, in the broadest sense, would you like to see move forward, and what sort of improvements would you like to see?
I think personally for me, I don't know if this quite counts, but the kind of the blame culture, the kind of it's not my fault, it's theirs, or I know it's a very kind of broad sense of that word, but kind of I think people should stand up and take responsibility. And I think that for me, the blame culture is all about there's a problem, let's moan about it. And I think what we should do is there's a problem, how do we solve it? Moaning just kind of takes up the time and isn't very helpful. I banned moaning from my business and we're very much more productive. So I think kind of the blame culture needs to stop. My brother's very good at it. Nothing's ever his fault, it's always someone else. And I think we should kind of stop that kind of and take some responsibility.
For me, I think one of the things that I think one of the most frustrating things is the heritage. It's not about actually being proud about our heritage, but sometimes harking back and wanting everything to be built around that heritage. And it's about saying actually it's really important to be proud about the heritage of steel and what we've done. It's actually not saying that everything still has to be built around that. I mean, I've got a clear view that digital and creative can be the new steel for Sheffield, and I've actually said that publicly. And you've got to give it that touch because people's got this real thing about steel. So I think it's about understanding our heritage but not harking back to it and actually allowing new ideas, because sometimes we can be parochial and new ideas can actually get shot down before we've even started them.
I think one of the things that is quite important is what can we do better is the whole collaboration aspect. And if we look at South Yorkshire as a county, it's how we actually interact with Barnsley, Rotherham, Doncaster, the other metropolitan locations, because there's a lot of resource which, if used collectively, would deliver significantly more value. As I probably alluded to before, there's lots of people doing things in different ways, and just managing to look at projects on a more centralised basis. I think it's it's Metcalfe's law, which is a network basically exponentially increases in value with every node attached to it, and that applies to all forms of communication, and we need to do that locally.
For me, there are a lot of disparate communities in Sheffield, whether that's sort of ethnic community separation, or just the fact that people who live maybe in Pittsmoor can't afford the bus fare into town and back out, and it would be more about just actually getting the communities together to understand what they're all doing, because I think we really do have some small clusters in Sheffield of great wealth, great deprivation. We have kind of like intellectual wealth, and then we have poorly educated people. And I think somehow in Sheffield we need to kind of get those things leveled out a bit more, so that you can move the whole thing forward en masse.
That's it. Last question. You want a good night, basically? That's the main thing, yeah?
Brilliant.
Let's carry on drinking. Thank you.